guys, my name is Joanna Marie. I'm sharing with you guys my breastfeeding journey. If you guys haven't already, go check out part 1. I'm going to be starting part 2 now, so on to the video. The next day of my hospital stay, I kept comparing my numbers to her numbers. It's so hard because even though I was producing more, I still felt like I was playing catch up. Now, going home, I had Omar, as soon as he dropped us off, go to Target and get 2 of those ready-to-go formulas, which is what they were giving her at the hospital. While he left, I started to sanitize the bottles, sanitize on my pumping part, clean and sanitize everything because, like I said, I did want to pump and I did want to eventually bottle feed, but not in the beginning. I obviously didn't have any of that prepared. So dealing with postpartum pain, a newborn baby, everything was so overwhelming. Thank God we did not have visitors the first day. I didn't want visitors the first day because I already felt so overwhelmed with everything. Plus my mom had got sick the day of hospital. I don't know if it was the stress of me giving birth or what happened, but her blood pressure spiked really bad. The doctors really couldn't figure out what was going on. She had crazy nosebleeds, so my support system wasn't really there. Like, I just really needed my mom, and my mom was sick. It was really hard, so that made me lean extra hard on Omar for support. Overall, having a newborn, those first days are hard and very overwhelming and very stressful. Balancing taking my stool off, balancing taking care of my postpartum stuff area, my pains, breastfeeding, pumping, the pains of the nipples from pumping. All of it was just, can't sum it up in another word, but very overwhelming. So day 2 of my stay at home, I had already got my mind in a mindset where I was gonna be an exclusive pumper. I was looking up all the videos, exclusively pumping videos. So those are a little bit different. I was getting myself there. I had already thrown breastfeeding out the window. I was pumping about 10 to 15 mils at this point, which even though it was a big accomplishment, I wasn't feeling accomplished. I was still focused on the numbers. I was just cerrada in that I'm not making enough. I'm not making enough. If she still needs formula, then I'm not succeeding. I'm failing. By the 3rd day, I totally remember this day because as soon as I started pumping, it just went whoosh. Like I filled up an ounce in like a minute. Like I was just so like, oh my God, you know? It was a very oh my God moment. And at this point, by the 3rd day, I was able to feed her all throughout the day off of my pumping sessions. But I still had to supplement at night because I was not pumping at night. I was only pumping round the clock during the day. The 3rd day came around, and if I thought the 2nd day was awesome, the 3rd day at home, oh my God, I was pumping 5 to 6 ounces. My mistake here, what I did so wrong, I tried to give myself a mommy break because exclusively pumping, being on a schedule like that is very hard on the brain. It's very hard, plus dealing with like postpartum hormonal issues and everything, it is very hard. So I tried to give myself ease because I didn't have to pump for about 2 feedings. I could even push it to 3 feedings from how much I was getting from 1 feeding. So I started lacking on the pumping, not realizing, hello exclusive pumper, your breasts are supply and demand. So if you're not pumping every feeding, you're not gonna keep providing for every feeding. Around the 5th day, my mom was A1 healthy again. She was back on her feet. But at this point, when she started asking me for what she could help me with, I felt, it's just like kind of weird. I don't know if it was just me. I felt like in this little bubble of circle was just me and Omar. Whatever I needed help with, I call him. Like I didn't mean that in a rude way to her or like a revenge thing or anything because she couldn't help me in the beginning. It's just like my little trust circle because that was my support system from getting home. Again, within this circle of trust, for every little thing, whenever we had guests over, for almost every feeding, I was just so afraid of her. That sounds so weird. It's just that I didn't feel secure taking care of her. I didn't feel like I had my mommy instincts. I didn't feel like I could soothe her. I didn't feel like I could comfort her. So for every feeding, for every little thing, I had Omar be with me. So if we had company over and I was gonna bottle feed her or whatever, I would ask him to come to the room with me, and he was very great. He was very supportive during this whole process. He had told me, you have to trust yourself. You are a great mom. Trust your instincts. Like, there's nothing wrong with the baby. You know how to soothe her. Apparently, I don't know how to soothe her right now because she's being a little pussy. Alright guys, so Sophia Luna is making a little cameo because she doesn't want to stay in her swing anymore. It is our breastfeeding story after all. He was very supportive, but he did say that I had to trust myself The reason I felt like that was because of the bottle feeding. I wasn't getting that bond, that security, that feeling of I was providing comfort for her. And because of that, like I didn't feel that connection, you know, mother, daughter, you need something else to you. I associate it with the fact that I was bottle feeding, because I just felt like I was producing the milk for her, but I wasn't nurturing her. I wasn't comforting her. I was just like a cow, if that makes any sense. After the first week home, my fiance had, I believe it was 3 to 4 weeks paid family leave. 1 week into being home, he took on a side job because the money from the paid family leave wouldn't be coming in until like 2-3 weeks later. It wasn't really that we needed it, but it would help a lot, especially because we didn't know what unexpected expenses were about to come with the baby, which actually we didn't have almost any. Because he left, I was suffering from crazy mommy meltdowns. Like the first day he left to work, I was crying the night before he left. I was crying the morning he left. I was crying the whole day until he got back. Like I'm telling you, I got so attached to him being my support system and helping me with her, in the sense that I just wasn't feeling secure. This is hard for me to talk about because I don't like, the only person who knew I felt this way was him. So, and now I'm sharing that with you guys. A lot of mommy breakdowns. I still didn't, this is crazy to say because she's my mom. I love my mom. I am crazy attached to my mom. But because she wasn't there those first few days, I got used to doing things on my own with him that I didn't know how to ask her for help, or if she knew how to help me, because we had already established this routine, like a certain way of caring for her. After the second day, I texted my mom and told her I needed help because she was just so fussy, and I just didn't feel like I could come for her. I would try everything and I felt like she just wouldn't get soothed, because I would see Omar do it and she would get soothed really fast, and I don't know if it's just because she could feel the fear of me or the anxiety in me of trying to soothe her, but I felt like I was lacking that. I felt like everyone could soothe and comfort my baby but me. She would come in the mornings, she would hold her and feed her her bottle of formula while I pumped for my first milk of the day. And from that point on, because I was pumping, she would get bottles all until the nighttime, when I would again supplement with formula. Also, because I mentioned earlier I was lacking on my pumping schedule, I noticed a dip or maybe a normalization in my milk supply. First it comes in poop and then it kind of goes to normal level. It probably would have stayed at poop if I would have kept on that pumping schedule, telling my body to make that much all the time. My mom gave me all her Mexican mommy breastfeeding remedies. Having my mom around was a really big blessing, even if in the beginning I felt closed off. She would make me avena, arroz con leche, atole in the morning to help produce more milk. Everyone had mentioned to me to try to latch her on. That was a big fear of mine because she hated my boob, like hated it. So I did not like putting her on there because she would scream bloody murder. That would help stimulate more milk. My mom also would tell me, especially in the mornings because I wouldn't pump all night, my boobs would get really engorged. So she was like, get me hot rags with like hot water, so it would basically like loosen up the milk and it would come down, which it really helped, especially when I would be engorged in the morning. It would really help me get out like around 6 to 7 ounces. And although at this point I was starting to fit into my mommy role, I still wasn't satisfied. I was in a good routine. I was in a better place, especially compared to the beginning days. I was basically able to feed her all day. I was already starting to build a tiny milk stash. Just felt like something was missing, because everyone had suggested, even the lactation consultant has suggested, even if she doesn't really eat from my boob, to at least put her on there, have skin to skin, put her on my nipples so that she could stimulate my boobs to make more milk. Like something about their saliva just helps. I tried it, hated it. Then I remember that they gave me the nipple shield, and I swear that pumping, nipple shield, and my supplements are the 3 things that saved my breastfeeding. When I put on the nipple shield, I instantly made the connection that she just didn't like the texture or feeling of my boob. Because she was already used to bottle feeding, I had to wean her off of bottles. Like usually you introduce bottles to them from breastfeeding. For me, I had to do it in reverse, and it was introduced to bottle first, now I had to introduce to my breast. So with the nipple shield, it was a little bit of a struggle for the first 2 days. I did have quite tender, sore nipples. No cracking, no bleeding, no blister. Aniline cream, I think I used the Medela one. It worked really awesome. It took away that sore tenderness pretty much right away. It was the best feeling to be able to actually feed her from my boob. And little by little, the bond grew, the security in me grew. There really is no connection I could ever compare to the way I felt after breastfeeding. And I'm not saying you cannot feel that connection with bottle feeding. I'm just saying my personal experience. I felt like that was missing because of breastfeeding. Something about her, the way I soothe her with my boob, but also the way she soothes me, because she caresses me, she finds comfort in me, she snuggles up to me. It's just a crazy, crazy, crazy bond that it was all I wanted. Probably thinking, why even, you know, mess with a good situation if the nipple shield was working for us? You know, I was probably asking for too much here, but it just felt like it was just too annoying to have to put a little plastic on her, especially when she was really hungry. I just wanted the security of just giving her my boob, you know, especially at night, finding that little clear plastic thing, it's a pain. We started around the 3-week mark, trying to get her on my boob bare. In the first couple days, she hated it, huh? She literally bit it. And I was like, oh, this feels like a little weird sensation. She's sucking really hard. I look down, she's biting at it, going like this, with her gums. Like, I was like, what in the world, child? Like, she was just so mad that I put her on my bare nipple that she just took it out on mommy. But within a couple days, though, she did get better and she did start breastfeeding. And afterwards, I would try to put the plastic and she did not like it. I got very lucky, the fact that she still takes bottles if I need to. If I want to give her breast milk in a bottle, she still does fine with it, and she also does fine with my boob. I didn't have a problem with her not taking bottles now, and now the best part, I don't have a problem with her taking my breast. At this point, I was pumping less, but I was still trying to pump after her feedings because I knew that it was a way to keep up my milk supply. I didn't want any problems to sneak up on me. It was also a way to build my freezer stack. I got to see the light at the end of this tunnel in this journey. I really went from experiencing all my breastfeeding nightmares minus mastitis to seeing it become my success story. So changed my perspective because although I do believe fed is best, I still struggled with a lot of breast is better, breast is better, breast is better. It really gave me a good aspect on both sides of the story, because if it wasn't for formula, what would I be feeding my child? Basically first month that I had to supplement her. So I got to experience the judgment, especially from Mexican moms, Mexican tias, Mexican friends. Everyone was just like, even though I was still providing her with my breast milk, there was still a lot of judgment from Mexican moms for even bottle feeding her. They're like, why don't you just put her on your boob? Because I can't put her on my boob. She didn't want to take my boob. Yes, she takes my boob now, but she didn't want to at the time, and I wasn't going to force her to put on my boob, having her gag on it and stuff. And it wasn't like I wasn't providing any less. Even if I was feeding her formula, it's not like I'm providing her any less of of food. She's getting her nutrients in. Yes, there's a lot more health benefits to breastfeeding, and for myself and her, especially the fact that I lost 30 pounds. Hey girl, yes I did. I lost 30 pounds because of breastfeeding, but also like even when I was sick, she helped me get better. I helped give her the antibodies so she wouldn't get the sickness from me or anybody else in the house who caught it. Ooh, I saw Popo pass by. Hello, Popo. But on a serious note, what I was trying to get at is that there's a lot of mom guilt when it comes to feeding your child. I don't think it's anybody's fucking business how you feed your child as long as your child is fed, because I've been on both sides of the struggle. Yes, my goal was to breastfeeding. Yes, I am breastfeeding now. No, it may not happen for everybody. I want to share my journey. Maybe it will inspire some of you pregnant moms or moms who just don't feel okay. The point of this was I did not feel okay sleeping at night, feeding her formula, not because I have anything against it, because of the way I felt within myself and the bond I had with her. Breastfeeding helped me and that bond, and if you can have that bond, bottle feeding formula, go do you. If that works for you, that is awesome, as long as your baby is getting fed and you guys are both happy. But I just wasn't ready to give up, and I'm very happy that I didn't. That is all for our breastfeeding journey. I hope you guys enjoy watching. If you guys have any questions about my journey or my experience, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Thank you guys so much for watching and staying tuned through part 1 and part 2 of this very long story. I hope I did not forget anything. I had notes on this, so I hope I included all that I wanted to say. It's also my third time trying to record this, and I believe I'm finally satisfied with this video. See you guys in my next video. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe and click the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in my next video.